Hi, my name is Garrett Severen. I'm the manager of the Nordhaven Southeast office, and in my former life, I had the opportunity to be the project manager on Nordhaven 76 Tugnacious, and I'm here with Chris and Eileen Roehrig, the owners of the boat, and Ted Robie, who's a salesman for Nordhaven Southeast, and he's the salesman that brought Chris to the table here for this beautiful boat. So with that, I'd like to introduce Ted.
Yeah, hi. I wanted to talk a little bit about the very beginning of this project with Chris. Really started at the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show back in, I think it was 2014. But they came aboard a boat that we had on display called Eliana. And maybe I could ask Chris to sort of reminisce about that, how you ended up looking at Nordhaven and what we have to offer.
Yeah, well, this was kind of I guess you could say a lifelong dream of, cruising into what we're doing. After retiring in 2008, we started looking at some boats, and we actually came across a boat called a Real Ship, which was a steel and aluminum, looked like a little freighter. But our girls were a little young then, and it just wasn't going to fit our schedule. And that same broker took me aboard a Nordhaven 62 at that particular time, which I had never been aboard Nordhaven, or pretty much never even heard of them at that point. And I was very impressed with the construction and the design of the vessel, which led me to subsequently start looking at them at the future boat shows. We looked at all the brands, but we kept coming back to the Nordhaven. Being an ex-professional captain in the tugboat business, I know what a hefty vessel is and what I wanted in a vessel, and it seemed like Nordhaven had, pretty much all those boxes checked. So when we came across the Eliana, the 76, it was a little bigger than we were originally thinking of going, but it just checked all the boxes for as far as places outside to sit and congregate and have meals and the range, amount of living quarters and everything, and we just kind of knew that was the boat, and probably would have bought that boat at that time again if our kids weren't just starting high school.
Right. Yeah, originally, you were looking 3 to 4 years out from that time, just to get the kids through school.
Yeah, so I knew 2018 would be about the earliest that we would think about taking delivery of a boat. But
so besides my fantastic salesmanship,
that's what it was. That sucked me right in.
What brought you in earlier than you had thought?
Well, at one point, I think it was you that gave me the call. It said that Nordhaven was in a position to build a boat right away. They had slots open, and so when after talking to, I think it was you and then eventually Dan Streech, we came to a meeting of the minds, and the schedule worked out pretty much perfectly for us with our last daughter graduating high school and going off to college. And matter of fact, they ended up building a boat in front of ours because we had that much time. And this was, coming out of the recession, and I think a lot of people at that point were a little cautious of spending money, and especially overseas in China and so forth. And I think once we did it, everybody's like, well, if that crazy guy wants to do it, maybe we'll do it. And it's pretty much how it happened. And I think right after that, they booked a bunch of 68s and another 76. But it was a great experience. I think we signed a contract. We talked about, I guess that was like November of 15. We flew to California that January of 16.
It was January, that you signed.
And we had the big spec meeting and figured out what we wanted, and like that. And then I think the boat went into production the following October, right?
It was about that time, yes.
October 16. We made 3 trips over. First trip we did was Eileen and I and the girls. We kind of made a vacation out of it. It was a lot of fun. I can tell you that the shipyard over there treats you like a king. Lunch, dinner every day, all local places. Took our girls shopping one day when we needed to go look at granite and stuff that we knew they didn't want to do. And I mean, it was really a great experience. And then we went back, the two of us, about 6 or 7 months later. Again, made a vacation out of it. Stopped at Pebble Beach. Stopped in Hawaii on the way home. Spent about 4 or 5 days at the shipyard, which was generally enough to see everything you need to see. And then I went back for the launching the following August by myself, and that was an experience in itself. I mean, the chairman of the board showed up for the launching at the shipyard, and it was quite a day. We had some great celebrations, and they were just a great crew to work with. I wish I'd build another boat there. But no, the whole thing was a great experience. I mean, for being in the boat business my entire life, and dealing with shipyards my entire life, and project managers and sales guys, it was just an all-around great experience. I mean, I'm already looking at my next Nordhaven. As most boat owners, once you take delivery of one boat, you're looking at the next one already. It's a sickness. But yeah, it was great. It was really good, and the boat came out great. I think the craftsmanship at Tashing is second to none. And I have a very good friend, lifelong friend, was the executive vice president of engineering for United Technologies, and basically he was a quality engineer for Pratt Whitney aircraft, all the big names, Otis elevators and everything. And he's been on this boat 2-3 trips, and he said to me on several occasions, "I can't find anything wrong with this boat." And he's the kind of guy that you could hand him a pencil and he'd find something wrong with it. So we've had the main reason I personally didn't want to build the boat at first was that year of getting the bugs out of it and everything, which I got to say has been really not that bad at all. I mean, we've had the obvious stupid little things, but the Nordhaven crew down here in Southeast Florida is second to none. They do the commissioning, they see it through the commissioning, they only work on Nordhavens, and they know the boats inside out. Most of the guys know the part numbers by heart. It's almost a little spooky, but just Rob and his crew are just top shelf. I would recommend them to anybody. And now that we're even out of the warranty period, I still use them for everything, and they're at a moment's notice. Usually, it's amazing how much they get done in a day. But that made the experience even that much better.
We heard about the beginnings with Chris. I was wondering what your thoughts were through that whole process of sale and looking at boats. And
well, he did most of the looking, and then
I
I came on some of them, but and then it was just let's have an adventure. Let's just sell one of the houses and buy a big boat, and we'll sail on the boat. I was like, okay, that's fine with me. Let's go.
Perfect.
Other than the coffee machine, that was her biggest contribution to the.
I asked for a coffee machine.
That was all she wanted.
So you took delivery about 18 months ago, and you've done some major trips so far. So, I mean, how has life been aboard your Nordhaven?
It's been great. I mean, we've been, we did like a Key West trip as an opener. We did a Bimini trip, a little boys trip. And then last year we did a whole trip through the Northeast, all the way up through New England and Outer Islands, Block Island, Nantucket, all that. It was great. We hit some pretty severe weather this winter going to the Caribbean. We had at least 12 footers on the bow for a day and a half. And I can tell you one thing, it was uncomfortable, but I didn't at any moment worry about the boat handling it. I mean, it was, the boat just chugged right along,
And you also learn what flies and what doesn't fly around on a boat that you have to secure.
Yeah, but as far mechanically or as far as structurally, the boat, was absolutely fine. I mean, there was a couple of liquor bottles that had to be resecured, but, and we've even improved on that with stuff, and built some racks and tension rods and different things. Right. But yeah, and that was probably the best shakedown we could have had was that. And so we've got about 6,400 miles under the keel now, and boat's always got us home. We haven't had any major issues, nothing that we couldn't handle underway. One thing great about Nordhaven is the redundancy on everything. And some of the things I brought from the commercial world were, triple redundancy and
right.
double redundancy on things that probably most people wouldn't do, like the black water pump and the gray water pumps, and put a general alarm on the boat, which most people don't even know what it was until they explained
I
it.
heard it.
Until they heard it. And once they understand how it works and why you have it, I understand some people have actually ordered them, but no, it's been great. I mean, it's a very comfortable boat. One thing we like about the 76 class is, you've got the cockpit to hang out in, you got the big settee behind the wheelhouse. There's a great little settee up on the flybridge. We put a fridge up there with an ice maker, so we can have afternoon cocktails, and we go up there and have cocktails, after dinner, and steer up there and smoke cigars while we're on the way occasionally if the weather's right. But other than that, I can't think of anything negative really to say about the boat. I mean, the only things with a Nordhaven with any boat is everything's a trade-off. I mean, you got a great sea boat, she's a little deep, so it does limit you in some places, or you have to be very careful where you go, no doubt. But we really haven't seen too many places we couldn't go to because of the draft.
Right.
So all good. I'm just curious about if you were to do this all over again.
I'd buy an airplane.
Yeah. Is there anything you'd change? I mean, anything
On the boat? Not that I can think of. We like the Ileana so much that, matter of fact, when Dan made me the offer to build the boat, and we threw numbers around, I said, well, what exactly am I getting for that number? And he said, well, what do you want? And I said, well, you've been aboard Ileana. He said, oh, it's my favorite boat I've ever built. And I said, if I built the boat for myself, that's the boat I would build. And I said, well, you build me Ileana, and we got a deal. And he said, yeah, we can do that. And I said, when I say build Ileana, I mean down to the bedspreads. And that's pretty much what we've done.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, I think there's like 5 major change orders between the boats. We redid one of the rooms, hull color, like that. But the only big item I would change would be the size of the big generator. It's too big. I think years ago when the lights were less efficient, and definitely the appliances, especially with the soft start air conditioning and that kind of stuff, you just can't load it. It's just too big. At 38 kW. I think if I had my Dradas, I would have went with 225s even. 25 has done pretty much everything we need to do.
But still 3.
Absolutely 3. And triple generation. And if you think about it, you actually have 4 generators because the alternators on the main engine will get you home if you have to. No air conditioning really, but other than that, the small generator's been great. In anchorages at night, and in the cooler weather we've been running on the way. The 25's been our go-to. It's got the most hours on it. The only problem with the big one is we just can't load it. We have days where it's like super hot out and we're underway, we're running, making water, and Eileen's cooking, and or something like that. Yeah, we use that one. And even then, it's
Too much.
It's not. It's a little too much. But other than that, I can't think of a thing I'd really change. Can you? I mean, one thing we were real cognizant about was the light switches where we wanted them.
Yeah.
We made a biggest. We've built houses where why'd they put that switch right the hell over there?
And you and I spent a lot of time going through the drawings and placing those items and making sure they were in the correct location too.
Eileen had a lot of input on the galley, where we put everything. So I would say to anybody that's building a boat, spend the time. It's worth it because, I think one of the biggest changes, like from Ileana, was we went with a bigger oven because the oven that was spec'd on that boat was you couldn't put a turkey in it. Little things like that. But other than that, I mean, I really can't think of anything I'd change. I mean, Northern Lights generators were great. They've been running good. They got a great support system. John Deere's been great. Even the few little issues we had, like on the crane, we had a few things, but it wasn't the year nightmare I was concerned with. And what little things did happen, like I said, the Nordhaven guys took care of them first class. But no, I don't think I'd change anything. But we did put the time in building the boat. And I definitely think, if for no other reason, it's just a great adventure, is to go see the boat being built, and you go to the stages that your project manager tells you to go to, where you still have some input left if you want to change something. And it's like I said, I can't speak to South Coast, but Tashing did a great job as far as hosting the potential builders. And being a boat guy was, it was even more of a treat. But we really like the crew over there.
Perfect.
Well, Chris and Eileen, thank you for your time. You have a
Sure.
beautiful boat, and I look forward to hearing about all your future adventures.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it too.
I was gonna say, we're looking forward to doing it.
Thank you as well.
My pleasure. I will say one thing: when you have Nordhaven, everywhere you go, the boat stands out. I mean, we have marinas where we have people knocking on the windows. What kind of boat is this? I kid you not. And
You were sitting here, the door was open, there was a guy on the dock, yelled into him, "Hey, what kind of boat is that?"
And I'm thinking of having Nordhaven cards made up because I get my finder's fee. Because we've had I had a couple guys right from the Annapolis Boat Show. We were in St. Michael's, Maryland, and geez, we didn't see one of those over here. Wow, this is some boat, and and I had to give them the whole spiel. And like I said, and I've had other Nordhaven owners tell me that too. But for some reason, this boat especially sticks out. I mean, maybe it's the color or whatever, but we get people just every day, nonstop. I don't know where we are. Yeah.
Very cool.
All right.
But it's been a great experience.
Perfect.
And, we look forward to more trips and more adventures. I promised her adventure when I married her. so.
Good. You're delivering.
Yes, he is.
So, well, we appreciate your time, and thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure.